Hey guys, it's Kelly. I guess that goes without saying. uh, well, we're gonna try this. I always feel a little weird before I make these, but just gonna go for it. Yeah, if you watched my last videos, I talked about my mom, and it's the weekend after I made those, and it's tomorrow is Mother's Day, and you're gonna hear some popping over there because there's a shooting range over there. Funny enough, but yeah, I'll show where I am after. I'm in this kind of marshy place up on a hill in the plains of Colorado, outside of Boulder, North Boulder. The sun was out. Now it's kind of gray, but it's spring, and yeah, anyway, back to, tomorrow being Mother's Day, and I cried a lot about my mom again, and just, I was really, feeling overwhelmed. Like, man, I was just so frustrated that it's like all I want to do is, get together with other people so we can start to learn how to trust each other, so we can use less money, so we can work less and do things of real value more with each other. And yeah, I'm like, great, I can tell people all I want about how we should be doing that, and my hand is kind of being forced right now. Like, I'm gonna have to move out of my place in a couple months, and it's fine. I'm just gonna move back into my camper and go stay in the mountains. But this whole process, like, is gonna take a little while, I think, or I don't know, it might happen all at once. But anyway, I was sad, because it's like, damn, dude, like 2 days, that pretty much most people get to like recover from work. I don't care how great your job is, like, it's still probably something that you like. If you weren't being paid, you wouldn't go, and that's the problem, is that we're valuing money more than our connection with each other. So anyway, I was just feeling overwhelmed, like, shit, I'm gonna have to take care of myself again. I have been a lot more than I used to, but I just was feeling like kind of hopeless, like, shit, everyone's in the same boat as me. Like, I was just lamenting and just grieving how many times my mom would like want to hang out or do something together. Like, she always wanted to do things with me, and I would like be too busy, because it's like you only get 2 days and you have to do all this stuff. I'm not trying to complain, but, and then on top of that, if you actually see that how many problems there are in the world and you actually want to do something about it, it's like, you guess you got to do that on the weekend. So I don't know, I'm just trying to pour my heart out here, and it's going to be a little rocky at first, because I need help. Like, I can take care of myself fine. I can keep going to my job, and spending a majority of my time making money to support myself, like, or I could start to get together with other people. We can resolve our differences. We can learn how to communicate honestly, like I was talking about with what my friend Dan Alexander has to teach, like, really talking with him and Konrad is one of the main things that's, brought me back to my heart, because I was like going down a very I was trying to be like this lone wolf, right? And like, I don't need anybody, you know, because I saw how messed up everyone, you know, I saw how messed up my own psychology was, and then I saw how messed up everyone else's psychology was. And, you know, during the pandemic, like, my friends and I, we tried to get together and, you know, help each other because, yeah, that was just pure insanity, the whole thing, you know, and you really saw how much people didn't trust each other during that. So we were trying to band together, stand up for ourselves, say no, you know, to being controlled and having to do this, you know. And it was heartbreaking, the whole damn thing, you know, because yeah, just to see, first of all, how afraid people were of each other. And, you know, yeah, my parents, like most of my family, like they were afraid. And it's like, you can't live life like that. Like, I don't care what it is, you know? If you're going to sacrifice, like, making real connection with other people, and if you're just going to do what you're told by people who you think are smarter than you, like, that's so lame. And it's no way to live life. And it's not, you're better than that, everyone, you know? So, and my poor mom, like, she was afraid, you know? And I'm not trying to put her down or anyone. Honestly, you guys, like, for as much as people really just treated each other horribly in some cases during that whole thing, like, if you weren't part of the cult doing the thing that the government wanted you to do, then you got pretty much, you know, ostracized. And it's like, look, I'm not trying to hate on anybody. I'm not trying to put anyone down. Like, I'm saying, like, we need to move on from that BS, you know, because that's what it was. And if we need to realize that that's not the issue at all. Like, whatever you think about that whole thing, it's not the issue. The issue is that we're still running around for a majority of our lives trying to get money, and then we're not really building real trust with each other, because people think, well, if I've got money, then I don't have to really trust other people, and therefore I don't have to really be trustworthy myself. Well, and then we never have to look at ourselves and be honest with ourselves, you know? So, really, you know, I'm not going to sit here and be like, money is the cause of all evil. It's like, it's what we do because of it, you know? If it weren't money, it would be something else. Like, humans, we have to learn how to stop replacing things of true value, like, you know, God and spiritual currency, I'll say. We replace that with, you know, our made up human currency, and it's not real. And look, again, I think this is going to be one of the biggest points of soreness with people. Although, not really, though, in some sense, because I think you all understand this to some degree. Like, we gotta give some things up, you guys. Like, I'm having to give some things up right now. Like, I'm gonna, you know, it's kind of great, because, like, well, great. If I don't have to pay rent anymore, then, you know, I'll have less time that I have to go to work, and more time that I can actually spend with people and help them do things of value. So it's really not all that bad. I think I was just feeling like, man, it's all coming to a head, you know? And so anyway, I'm kind of rambling now. Hopefully you're following this. Maybe in the next videos I'll try to be more prepared, but I'm honestly just, I don't know if we can maybe talk together in person soon. I'm not saying I want to do that all at once, like, because, yeah, man, there's so many little stupid grudges that my friends and I have, well, like, ex-friends or whatever, like, we need to be friends again, we need to get over ourselves. And there's so many of those little things to resolve, and I'm not saying it's going to happen all at once, but I am going to make myself vulnerable to coming together and trying to solve our differences, So I'm trying to lead by example. Like, it's not going to happen all at once. I don't expect to make a couple videos and people all of a sudden be like, oh my god, I totally get it. I don't, like, my friend Dan has been doing this for 6 years, and he's like the enlightened being on earth, currently in this cycle. And that doesn't make all of us less valuable. He's trying to awaken everyone to what their true value is. And so I'm like, okay, like, I'm going to do what he's doing and share his message, and then get people together in my local area and try to overcome some of this garbage that has been, keeping us separated from each other. Like the whole pandemic, and thinking that you got to be afraid of other people, like, or trying to control them, And, I'm not saying I haven't done my fair share of trying to control other people, right? But look, the more I let go of money, the more I can be self-sufficient in that way. Like, I think the more open my heart will be, and then therefore I can speak honestly with all of you. And then, and Dan told me this. I said, no one really trusts each other, even in the truth and freedom movement. It's like, if we did, we'd all be getting together, sharing resources, renting houses together, like growing our own food, like raising the kids, we would all be doing that. But like, we're all separated too, to the four corners of the earth. So like, I was like, people don't really trust each other. And Dan said, I trust everyone. I just know when people are lying. And that really made me think, like, yeah, look, what's the most horrible thing anyone is going to do to you? Like, really, if you think about it, the worst perpetrators of violence on anyone is, like, the government, and war and the police, and it's like, if you really think about it, everyone in your life that maybe you've had like a falling out with, or, has taken money from you or something, like, it can be resolved. Like, you have to have that attitude about it. Like, you can trust people, but that doesn't mean you're not going to stand up for yourself, Like, we can't just do this thing of, always just wanting to avoid each other and never get together because we, like, we gossiped about each other or something stupid like that, And so, look, there's a silver lining to all of this. Like, there always is. The fact that I'm still friends with people after the whole pandemic, which I did not agree with, and I don't think that much mistrust and damage and everything that happened was warranted. I don't think we had to be that afraid and controlled. We certainly didn't have to be controlled. So, fine. Look, I'm still friends with people who even disagree with me about that, I don't care. I'm not going to try to make you do anything. I'm just saying, don't make me do things, But look, I still have good relationships with, like, my stepdad and I have argued about this for a lot, and we still have a decent relationship. My last video I was talking about when my mom would get the three of us together and we would have dinner during the pandemic, and I would argue with them about, I thought at the time that Trump was like the big, gonna save us. And just so everyone knows, I'm not for any politician. I'm not for government. It's all totally bogus, And so anyway, I was all about Trump, and I was arguing with them, about this. And I think this is like the first really official public apology I want to make, is to, Len, my stepdad, and then my mom. And I think that's it. I don't know about the name thing. Maybe that's weird. I don't know. My stepdad. And, I'm sorry, you guys. Like, I didn't I didn't need to argue about that stuff with you. Like, I just needed to get together with you and show you that it's okay, like, that I'm not scary and I'm not going to hurt you. Like, that's what needed to happen more. And, I fell for it. I fell for the whole political game. So hopefully you can see some of that in yourselves and step away from that political game too. Because really, the political game does the same thing that the money game does, which is, it gives us our guy, right, who's like, we're on their team, so that we don't actually have to put that trust and put our hearts into each other, So here's this cool necklace my mom made me. She was really artistic. I'm going to read the eulogy I wrote her at her service, which it was close to or on, I can't remember, Mother's Day 2021, 3 years ago. And so, yeah, I want to remember her and her ability to bring people together, and yeah. So, here goes. Thank you so much to all of you for being here together with me. Thank you to my pastor, I won't say his name, for giving me your time and skills on such short notice. I've been on the phone and coordinating with so many of you in the last week. To my mom's Texas family, it means so much that you're here, and your guidance and love this last week was incredible. Thank you to all the neighborhood friends. I listed a bunch of names. More than I'm forgetting. You were right there when we needed you. It's really amazing to see so many people here. I can't express enough how much it means to me to see how much my mom meant to all of you. And some of you didn't know her well, but you're here for me, and she would be very thankful for you. She taught me how to surround myself with people who wanted the best for me. My mom had an epic story. She grew up in the city in Houston, Texas. She spent her 20s between there and Austin, then eventually moved to Big Bend and worked for a rafting company run by her good friends. Her rafting friends moved to Durango, Colorado, and being the adventurous spirit she is, she went with them. There she worked many jobs, eventually meeting my dad and having me. She worked her way up from being the bookkeeper for a group of lawyers who owned an office building to managing the whole building for upwards of 20 years. It's funny that I work in construction because both my mom and my grandma did basically my grandma did construction. I wouldn't say management, maybe bookkeeping or something for one of the big subdivisions in Albuquerque that they built. She was in charge of getting everyone paid, is what people tell me, what my family tells me. And then my mom managed this office building for 20 years, that was owned by this group of lawyers. And so she was all about getting the building, doing maintenance on the building, getting it updated and stuff. It was an old building, and she was always on the phone with people and hiring people to come work on it. And she really just was this glue, I think, for a lot of people. So it's funny that I ended up working on buildings. Our stories are so different, yet share patterns. The main thread, though, was our bond. She was a single mom for many years, and she poured everything into me during that time. I've come across wonderful photos from birthday parties, adventures, camping trips, and the first day of school. She always made sure to take a picture on the first day. Something as simple as taking a picture for every first day of school made me feel so special, even though I often resisted. She always encouraged me to present myself well, respect myself, and helped me to pursue so many great experiences. Signing me up for soccer and supporting me in that for years was one of the best gifts she ever gave me. At the same time of giving me so much, my mom had to learn to let go of me, to let me fall on my face and learn things for myself. Learning to stop protecting me and let me go out into the world was probably one of the most painful things she ever did, and she did it with so much grace. At the same time of giving me so much, my mom had to learn to... This last week has been a mix of extreme gratitude, grief, regret, and hope. Gratitude not only for everything my mom did for me, but for the family she left me with. Of course, when she remarried to Len, I was an angsty teenager, and it took me a while to warm up to him. She made it a point to make sure I could trust him and I could become part of his family. We had adventures with my stepsister in Scotland and California when I was in high school, and the whole family went to her wedding in Italy. We traveled to Hawaii where my stepbrother lives so he could take us scuba diving. I'll miss being able to reflect on those adventures with her greatly. I will miss her goofy sense of humor and ability to joke and to put people at ease. However, spending this whole last week with the new family she brought me into, I know that I am in such good care. I name Len's family, my stepdad's family. You all have shown me so much love and make me feel like I've always been part of your family. I think about going through this last week without all of you pulling together to coordinate this memorial and help Len and I make important decisions. I would have made it out alive without you all, but that's pretty much it. I'm sure there are a million things I'm forgetting to say, but for now, love you, Mama. We will all miss you greatly. Thank you for bringing us together, and thank you for giving me life. I love you so, so much. This little place I'm sitting kind of smells like there's this lake nearby, and it reminds me of Texas when I've gone to visit her, because it's kind of marshy. And yeah, when her and I, as a kid, when I went to go visit her family. So this is in Texas. We went down there one time to go visit. There's my mom and I. I love that photo. There's me and my mom in the background there. This kind of looks like the place I'm sitting right now. I'll just show all of these. This is like just my whole story, so this is a soccer photo. I think I'm like 10 in that picture. That's me right there. Yeah, I loved soccer, man. That was like my little family, you know. So these are the images that I have on my little website. Up in the left-hand corner there, you've got this woman. Big, bold vision, right? That's what I'm going for. And then this is my tarot card. You add up your birth month and day. And this is the original Rider-Waite tarot deck. The Hermit, right? He's going into the mountains alone to discover who he really is, because that's what it's all about. You know, it's about what's inside of us, right? but then bringing that out and to share it with the world. Don't just keep it in, right? You got to go through the hermit phase. So, and I love the sun, so it's funny because I have such fair skin and I get burned like pretty easily, but it's what gives us life, you know. I'll read this. So my best friend, who I talk about in all these videos, probably most of them I will, I'm gonna call him Tylor. I wrote about him on my website, but anyway, he and I organized a raft trip down the Grand Canyon, and it was totally epic. And so she had done a trip like that when she was younger, with my dad, and so she wrote me a letter about it, and about me going on that trip. And so here it is, life. Instructions not included, except there are, you know, but we have to see them. We have to help each other see the instructions. So, dear Kelly, no instructions, but plenty of advice, right? From all of your well-intentioned loved ones. By now you are really getting into the flow of your trip. As much as I have concern always about your welfare because you are my dearest daughter, I'm glad you were able to seize this opportunity for an epic adventure. I love you, and you are in my thoughts every day, Kelly. Everything is good here, working on all the usual stuff. There was a big hurricane in Houston. Predicted 50 inches of record-breaking rains. Everyone we know is fine and safe from the flooding. So, savor your time in that spectacular canyon and keep breathing through the rapids. Thank you for the phone call and text on Saturday. This pen is giving me a hand cramp. Call me when you can. I look forward to hearing your voice. Love you, Mom. Oh, here's a mnemonic device for remembering geological layers of the Grand Canyon. These are all the layers of the rock, you know, that the water cut away and exposed in the canyon. So this is a device, mnemonic device for remembering them. So it's K, kissing, T, takes, C, concentration, H, however, S, sex, requires, R, requires, B, breathing, and T, timing. Kissing takes concentration, however, sex requires breathing and timing. LOL. And my stepdad signed it too, so. I think, here's one more. I always called her Mama Llama. So she got me this card for my birthday one time. Here it says, a birthday blessing from the Dalai Lama. And birthday blessings from your mama too. Mama Llama, right? Love you, Kelly, Mom. So she just cared about me, you know, a lot. And I feel better, strangely enough. You know, still a little bit of sadness, but honestly, I think just talking like this is going to help me. So bear with me, you guys. I know it's hard to just sit here probably and listen to me ramble, but I'll get more succinct as I go. And this is all coming from my heart. You know, I'm not lying to anyone about any of this. I'm not sitting here making up how I feel about all this, you know. So please just stick with me on this and we'll get through it, you know. And I think two things I want to end on is that, you know, she would be proud of me and she would want me to get together with people in my life and resolve our differences so that we could, you know, support each other and not have to slave away all the time, you know? And another thing is that there have been some older women in my life who I've become good friends with, and one of them has, well, my mom's name is Marie, which is my middle name, and one of these friends that I made recently, her middle name is Marie. So everything's connected, right? And people, it's like a Marie and Leslie will never be in the universe again in that exact form, but she'll be in a different form, like her energy, her spirit, and we all go back into this thing. And so that's just have heart. I know that it's hard, but just remember that, and remember that you're here, and like we should connect, and we should say the things we never said to each other, and we should let go of our regrets and our resentment towards each other and our guilt, because then that person dies, and that opportunity to say the things you never said to that person is gone. And it's like, well, it's not gone forever. You have the opportunity to do that with other people who are currently in your life. We do this a lot. We hold on to the past because there was comfort in it. We're like, oh, well, they gave me love in the past, and like, love is all around you. You just have to accept it, So I injured my thumb at work, and this woman whose middle name is Marie, it's like the universe sent me another mom, and she does homeopathy, and so she has all these remedies, and I was taking what she prescribed me, and it really helped. I really nailed it really bad with a nail gun, basically. The force from the nail gun hit another piece of metal that launched into my thumb, and like and I was like, oh God, and it's like, well, I went and got help, and this woman offered me help. And so little things like that, I didn't have to spend any money to do that. And hey, let's just start small. We can do little things like that. We don't have to all quit our jobs and all move in together and all start trusting each other, but we do. It's like, look, what your grudges are, things you can make right by certain people. Like, you can even start doing what I'm doing and putting your voice out there, and just trying to speak from your heart, like, don't get distracted, right, from the important things. Like, what Dan has to tell us all and share with us and teach us is the most important thing. And I'm not going to back down from that. Like, because I love you guys. Like, that's the alarm. I gotta go. So I'm gonna meet up with some friends online, of course, that I did this class with. But it's like, hey, let's connect. Let's just keep connecting, and we can do it. So let me just show the little area. I used a hair tie to freaking I have a thing to hold my phone up, but I didn't use it because I'm stubborn, I guess. But yeah, like, look, this didn't take any money, I came out and connected with nature, and that's the thing. I'm just going to lead by example and do little things like this so you all can see that, like, I'm not asking anything, insane from people. Like, yeah, we do. If we want real freedom, we do eventually have to come together, in person, and start to rely on money less, so we don't have to we're spending all our times at our jobs, it's just a fact. And I know that everyone I talk to, pretty much all my friends, the millennials, right, like, and even the older generation, they know about this. Like, they would probably agree with me. So we can do it. Yeah, let me just walk out here and show the view. And then I'll get home. This, yeah, it reminds me of Texas. all these. I went and visited. I took a month off after she died, and I went and visited my family in Texas. And I hope to do that again, and yeah, just one step at a time, dude. But yeah, this reminds me of where they lived, all these short trees and these fields, and it's not quite like that. Cow pies, lots of cow pies down there. Yeah. And then there's like little prairie dog central over there. They're all chirping at everyone. Chirp! Go away, go away! I love that cottonwood tree right there. It's epic. So, this airplane is flying over, and I'm like, that's not really necessary. We do so many unnecessary things, and all we got to do is stop, like we just got to put aside our egos and say, hey, I was an asshole and sorry, so that's what I'm trying to do, sorry, you guys, like, I know I've not been a good friend at times, and you can talk to me personally about that. So I'm a lot better than I was. So love you guys. See you on the other side. Mwah.